Yeah. So let me just take this. All right. I think we can start. So once again, thank you for joining and thank you for taking your time from your busy schedule. I understand this is Friday night, and you are investing your time to learn something new. I'm sure this will be helpful for you and it will give results in your daily work. So why it is not just a minute? Okay. So as you know that this session will be on the bank reconciliation, touchless bank reconciliation with new features. As you might have heard, some of you have heard that uh, this this over the years, last 2 years, Microsoft has invested a lot of things in bank reconciliation where many many new features have been added into the product. So our target is to show those new features with the modern bank reconciliation interface, which has been changed now. So let's see how it goes. I'm sure we will not disappoint you. Will at least you will take something new from this session. So if we talk about in this session, myself Ramit and along with me my colleague Karthik will lead this session. So I am from India. I'm an MVP in business application, and Karthik is community speaker. He is a senior consultant in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. And apart from it, we, uh, I mean, this session is arranged by the one of the user group in Microsoft, which is Kolkata East India Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. 365 uh, Dynamics 365 and Power Platform community, which myself and Shubhashish lead from the East region of India. And as of now, we have completed around 12 sessions. Most of the sessions were on the electronic reporting. We have completed around five electronic reporting from scratch to building a report. If you want, you can just take a screenshot and then you can just learn things. And apart from electronic reporting, we have completed a lot of sessions on finance, which is budget control, budget planning, petty cash accounting, credit management, revenue and expense deferrals, and also Azure, integration with Azure. We have also completed, uh, in this last year. So before we jump into our session, next week on 11th of May, we have a session on Python TensorFlow with the 65. So like I mentioned, Shubhashish is along with me leading this group. He is also a speaker. So he will lead this session. He will share his knowledge on this topic, which is 11th of May, 2024. Timing is 3 to 4 p.m. IST. Okay? And you can register it if you just see the group link, and from there you can register for it, and will shortly share the Teams meeting link. Okay, so let's, without further delay, we will start the session. The first thing first, so what we will experience today, like I mentioned, over the years there are many things in bank reconciliation, advanced bank reconciliation Microsoft has added. And so we have picked up the major area where you can see and you can learn something new today. The first thing we will talk about the automatic import of bank statement from SharePoint. How it works, how we have defined this, demo. So we will not put any bank statement in the SharePoint. So we have configured a Power Automate flow where we'll do the role play that I will send one, bank statement to the one of the dedicated mailbox, and assume that is a treasury mailbox, and system will pick that bank statement from the mailbox and will put straight away create that file into the SharePoint. And by the new feature, which is automatic import of bank statement from SharePoint, that will help Dynamics to import that statement from the SharePoint directly to Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. That's one of the important thing we will like to share. And then we will talk about automatic clearing of bridge transactions through advanced bank reconciliation. And then we will slightly go more deeper on the modern bank reconciliation and user interface changes. What are the changes we can see in the new interface? And these functionalities are available in 10.39 version. So by the time, if you have not enabled 10.39, by the time you enable it, you will be, are ready with, you will be ready to take this up in your environment or in your project. And then selection of vendor payments and customer payments from the bank statement. We will talk about in detail, and then review the process for generating general ledger vouchers from the bank statement. And then most important part, the new matching rules have been incorporated, have been imposed or have been added into the bank statement matching rules configuration. And then after that, we will talk about a total touchless bank reconciliation. So when you talk about total touchless bank reconciliation, the process will look like, right? One statement came from bank, it already imported directly to the, to Dynamics 365 from the SharePoint feature, and then it will automatically reconcile and it will complete the reconciliation. So totally touchless bank reconciliation we will showcase. It is the ideal scenario, but we understand there will be some manual effort, maybe manual effort will be required, because there are a lot of if there are high volume of the bank statement lines, that can be, some by some exception cases, user might have to reconcile it or do that, right? So the idea behind these new matching rules, which Microsoft has incorporated, which is basically based on the feedback over the years as a partner, as a customer, which customer has given that, okay, you are taking care of most of the scenarios in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation as part of, matching rules. But there are few exceptions. So Microsoft have worked on those exceptions, and they have built a new matching rules framework that we will talk about. So without further delay, we will move to the our first uh, demonstration, which is automatic import of bank statement from SharePoint. So like I mentioned previously, now I will just go into the system and I will start showcasing this. A minute. So the first thing first, what we need to do as a configuration, that we need to make sure that we have a connectivity in SharePoint, and that SharePoint can be linked with the 65 that has ID, and we can connect that ID to the SharePoint link. And as you can see, we have created a SharePoint folder called communication site in our environment. And in the communication site, we have created 4 different folder, which is one completed, error, main, warning. So the idea behind this, once the bank statement file will come from the Power Automate Flow or from the automation, that will come to the main folder, and if the and system has capability to process it automatically. Once it is processed, then it will move to the either error. If there is an error, that will move to the error. If there is warning, that will move to the warning folder. And if that is completed without any error, that will go to the completed folder. Okay, that is the idea. But how to connect this with D65? We will show. The first thing, you need to enable a feature from feature management, like import bank statement from SharePoint. So if you go to all, automatic importing bank statement from SharePoint folder, this feature we need to enable it. After enabling it, the next thing we need to do is to, if you're joining this session, we are expecting that at least you know advanced bank reconciliation, how to configure it. If not, no worries. We will just touch base on it. So first, when you complete, we need to complete the setup. You need to go to the cash and bank management module and need to import the advanced ABR file into the format, right? So once it is done, you need to create a couple of things as a one-time setup, which is we'll go to the organization administration. Okay. And then in the organization administration, you will find document management. So if document management, document management, document types. In the document types, uh, we have created the same folder structure in document types as well. So remember, in the SharePoint, we have created 4 files. One is completed, error, main, warning. Similarly, we have completed this configuration here as well, document as a document type. And after creation of this, we have selected SharePoint as a location, and in the address, we have given the particular, SharePoint address. So if you see in the completed one, we have given SharePoint address as completed folder address. For the error, we have given the error folder address from the SharePoint. Once this is done, one thing we need to do, which is electronic reporting, and then electronic reporting source. In the electronic reporting source, you select this source, say SharePoint, and in the settings, same thing, what you have done, linked it. So this mapping we need to do, like document type for input source, where the file will be input, but the file will be coming to the SharePoint. So as I mentioned, the first file, it will come into the main folder. So this is main. And after that, document, so move processed files to another folder, one that those were processed from the SharePoint, where this will go. It is stating the document type for imported files will be coming in the import completed. Document types for files with warning, it will come to the warning. Document type for failed files, which will come into the error folder. So this is the link we need to do. First, we need to create folders, and then we need to link those folders with the document types. And after that, in the electronic reporting source, we need to map this how the movement will look like. Okay, this is the first prerequisite for linking between automatically from the SharePoint to the 65. Now I mentioned we have created this as an automated flow, which means we have created a Power Automate flow. So how we have created it, I will showcase. So this is the Power Automate flow we have created. So what we have stated that if I will click on this Power Automate. So what we said it is, when a new email arrives, it will create a file in SharePoint folder. So we have stated this Power Automate flow, but it is as per your choice, how the way you want to configure this Power Automate. But I am just talking about the possibilities. So here we have stated, if it has attachment, it has contains bank statement, subject, then it will create a file in the SharePoint folder. Which folder? That is also we have mentioned in the destination, that if I go to this create file, so you have stated the folder path is main. So now you can relate what is happening. We have created a Power Automate flow which states if the file comes to a particular email box, which states which subject contains as a bank statement, those files will be picked up by the Power Automate and will create a file in the SharePoint main folder. From there, we already have a linkage. System Dynamics will automatically import those files to the 65 finance and operation. So now, what I will do, uh, I will just give a small demo. How? So what I will do, I will create new. For that, maybe I will remove this. I will send a file. I will write like bank statement, and then I will create this file. I hope everything is fine. I will send this, and I will go to, first I will go to the Power Automate, see all the runs. Let's see whether this runs or not. So it is 2 hours ago. And once it is running, I will also go to cash and bank management, uh, bank statements. Let's see. So we'll just refresh the browser. Yeah, you see this 7 seconds ago, this has been picked up by the Power Automate flow and is succeeded. So we are expecting that in the SharePoint, in the main folder, it would have come. It means that either it has not come till now or it has processed it, right? So let me see. If I go to D65, let me check. Yeah, as you see, this file, I just sent it to the email box. By the Power Automate flow, it came to the main folder, and main folder processed it without any error. It has sent to the completed file. Okay, so now I'm expecting this file is there in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. Just let's wait. I think confirm here in the USMF legal entity we have configured. I'm just checking it.
Yes, it is configured in USMF.
Okay. So the batch is working. Okay. The important part we forgot to mention that to pick it up automatically,
Yeah, the batch is
we
having
have.
a 3 minutes interval, Ramesh, so maybe that causing a delay.
Uh, great. So to import it automatically, we have a batch. We need to actually configure this batch in the system. Otherwise, system will not be able to take it. It's a pull. It is not a push. So we need to consider this batch to be enabled in the system as well. So this one.
Yes.
So let's wait. It is a 3 minute interval. So if you want to know by this time that the class name of this batch, because this batch, it will not be there in the batch jobs framework. So you need to create it either from the bank statement input framework, or you need to create it manually as a batch job. So if you see the class name and class description, I have picked up a wrong batch. So it is a batch and it is a class name. So it is running in 3 minutes. So it is up to you how frequently you want to run this batch. Generally, bank statement comes once in a day, or if you have multiple banks, then maybe twice in a day you can just keep this bank. But it is up to you. It is not a suggestion I'm giving. I just coming from the experience. So let me go to the batch job history when this was last run. 819. I think still. Okay, let's wait. Maybe we can go to the bank statement. Yeah. So, okay, no, not this one, right? I think so. Can you check
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
checking.
background? Yeah. I think it has run. Let me check the log. Click on the message. There is no suitable file to import. Okay. I think something has happened. It was working, right? But if it does not work, no worries. You can test it. You can just uh, configure it. And by the time, Karthik, please check it from the background. If it comes, then let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
can directly put that file in the SharePoint timing. Yeah.
Actually, it has it. This file is there in the SharePoint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it actually completed, but from the completed option, this has not picked up by the batch.
Okay.
Okay. So you can just check it.
Yeah.
All right. So once the bank statement is imported, there are this is all about the automation of importing bank statement from the SharePoint, and then we will move to the next one. This Karthik will take the lead and showcase for the automatic clearing of bridge transaction through advanced bank reconciliation. So maybe Karthik, you can just.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. First of all, welcome. Yeah. So as Ramesh said, the Microsoft has given a few features recently regarding the bank reconciliation and bank reconciliation. So basically, these are related to the automation of the bank reconciliation, which will decrease our manual uh, inputs in the advanced banks reconciliation part. Okay. So for that, we need to enable some features in the feature management. So go to system admin. So there are a few features which Microsoft introduced, and one of them is a modern bank reconciliation, uh, which give us few options in that matching rule setup, like clearing of bridging transactions, settling the vendor or customer invoices, doing the like creating the vendor payments, one-to-one mapping, one-to-many mapping of the transaction. So there are many type of matching rules which we can define now. Earlier there was only three. Now there are around like 6 or 7 matching rules, which types of matching rules which we can set up. So for that we need to enable this modern bank reconciliation. And one more feature Microsoft has given is a automatic clear bridging transactions through advanced bank reconciliation. If I give the overview of this feature, it is like you may have we already know the what is the bridging transaction. So when we are bridging transaction, a transaction where we post a payment without a bank, right? So when you post a payment, it will go to a GL account, and once it is cleared, we will tell the system that this transaction has been authorized by the bank. So now we need to post it on the bank. So we'll pass a JV wherein the bank will get debited and the GL will get, sorry, the bank will get created and GL will get debited. So this way, in the 2 steps, the entry will occur. Okay. So we until now we need to do it manually, like we need to post a payment journal, and once it is authorized by the bank, we used to pass a JV wherein the bridging transaction is cleared in the system. Okay. So what Microsoft has done now is like they have provided a feature wherein during the bank reconciliation itself, the system will identify that the bridging transaction has been cleared, and it will pass the JV, the clearance JV automatically. Okay. So we'll see the demonstration how it will work in the system. So for that, we need to set up in the bank accounts, wherein we have one bank. So in the advanced bank reconciliation setup, we need to enable this clear bridging transactions during automatic BRS. Okay, this need to be enabled, this feature. Then we'll do one bridging transaction against this bank. So for doing that, we should have one method of payment, right? So this is one of the method of payment, bridging. So bridge posting is enabled on this. So one more thing which Microsoft has introduced is like bridging account by bank account. Okay, so now we can define a bridging account, the GL, which is a temporary GL that we can define at the bank level now. Previously, it was only at the method of payment level. Now they are providing it at the bank account level. If you disable this, you can define the bridging account here directly on the method of payment. If you enable this, we can define this bridging account at a bank level. Okay, I'll just enable this. I'll go to my bank account. So now I got one more option to define main account. Previously there was only one option, main account, the account beyond this bank. Okay. Now we got one more option of bridging account. So where we can define the bank specific bridging account here. Okay. Now I'll do one transaction, payments, vendor payment journal. So here my method of payment is bridge. Okay. So when my method of payment is bridging, the system will one additional field Microsoft has introduced here, like bank account, where I need to select the bank account from which bank I'm paying it. So this is my bank. Okay. And this, you see, this offset account is came automatically from this bank account. Okay. So I defined the bridging account against this bank that has been picked by the system in the payment journal. Okay. I'll just post this. It's giving some let me check. Or I'll timing, I'll just to save time, I'll take a different account. Okay. But you understand, right, from where this account will come?
So Karthik, you go back.
Okay. Understood.
So you need to go back to the journal.
So there is a restriction here. So I'll just add ledger. Once again, I'll select this bank. Okay. Just post this. Okay. So now it posted to a bridging account. Okay. This one. So now how the advanced bank reconciliation will identify this transaction and clear this automatically, that we'll see. So for that, I need a statement. So I have one SharePoint empty 940, wherein I have this transaction. Okay. So the transaction is not there on the bank transaction in the ERP. Okay. The transaction is on the ledger, bridging ledger. It is not on the bank, but in our bank statement, it has been authorized. It has been honored by our bank. This is a payment entry, which you can see here. Okay. So we'll see like how the system will identify this entry without a bank transaction in the system. Okay. I'll just close this. I'll go to cash and bank management, bank reconciliation, bank statements, import statement. Okay. The statement is valid. So I just open this. I just confirm the statement. Okay. The currency is different. That's fine. I'll just change the currency. Okay, it's a valid statement. I'll just click on reconcile in worksheet. New worksheet I'll create. Yeah, I'll go to worksheet. Okay, before, yeah, I'll click on run matching rule. I'll just run one-to-one mapping, one-to-one matching. Before that, I'll show you some. I'll show the transactions available. There's no bank account. Okay, bank statement wherein I have this 1 lakh rupees cash deposit and 500 rupees payment. Similarly, these are my bank transactions wherein this 1 lakh is my cash deposit, but here you see this 500. It is not actually a bank transaction. It is a bank clearing transaction. Okay, it has on the ledger, but still it will show in your uh, bank transaction, the bank reconciliation. Okay, because the method of payment is bridging, so it will bring this transaction here. I'll click on run matching rule. One, one. Okay. Yeah, you see the system has matched these transactions. If I go to match transactions, I'll click on mark as reconciled. Okay. Yes, I want to proceed with the reconciliation. Okay. So the transaction is completed. I'll just go to X3. I'll go to transactions. So there is only one transaction. There is no other transaction. Yeah, there is a one batch job which we need to run for this periodic task and clear bridging transactions. Okay, so we have to run this batch job wherein it will post the transactions. I need to select the reconciliation ID. This is the reconciliation ID, and I click OK. Oh, okay. There's one more batch which is running. So let me check. Inquiries. Okay. The system has automatically put this when I reconciled it, automatically created a batch job to clear these transactions. So yeah, it is running. So I'll just go to bank account. I'll check the transactions. Okay, the system has automatically posted this clearing transactions. Once the statement is reconciled, system has created a batch job wherein it created this transaction for the reconciliation. If I go to voucher, it should be like bridging account debit to bank. So finally, the amount has been went from my bank. So previously we used to pass this entry manually, but yeah, now due to this advanced bank reconciliation new feature, this entry has been posted by the system. Okay, so one more setup related to this is like journal name. So we need to specify a journal under which it should get posted. So that will be defined under cash and bank management setup, cash and bank management parameters. So if you go to bank reconciliation, we have a clearing journal. Okay, so system will use this journal to post that entry which we have seen in the earlier step. This is what the clearance of bridging, auto clearing of bridging transaction in the system. Hope you understand this.
Great.
Ramit, do you want to explain that? Yeah, your voice is low, Ramit.
So,
For me, I don't know for all of them.
it fine now?
Still, it is low for me.
Let me disable the. Just a minute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It's clear now.
So thank you, Karthik. Let me
Now
disable.
again, low, Ramit.
I don't know whether it is happening with all or few.
Is everyone able to listen, Ramit? Anyone?
Maybe someone mute yourself and then confirm.
Same issue happening. We are not
Can I?
able to listen properly. Damit.
Okay, let me rejoin. Just a minute.
Till the Amit joins, I'll just go through this. Okay. So in cash and bank management, we got some new matching rule types. So advanced bank reconciliation setup, matching rules. So previously there was three. Now Microsoft has introduced this match with bank document, clear reversal statement lines, clear reversal company transaction. I'll just explain one by one. So under this match with bank document, they have given a combination of this choose matching type. Okay, with this two fields, we can, with the combination of these two fields, we can create around 4 rules. Okay, so I'll just filter it out. Okay, so with the combination of this match with bank document one to one, again match with bank document one to many. So this way we can create around 4 rules. So previously it was like only one to one. So Microsoft has now introduced a few more types like one to many to one. So basically one to many means we have a one transaction in bank statement, but we have multiple transaction lines in Dynamics. Okay, so this way the system will identify the matching lines. Again, that one line in bank statement, it will reconcile it. But to identify that, there we need in some attributes, right? Like there's a one transaction bank statement and multiple transaction in ERP. So to match that one transaction with the multiple lines, we need some attributes. The system should have some attributes to group them into one. Okay, so those grouping attributes need to be divided here. So sorry, defined here. So if we go to one, we don't require any attributes. But when it comes to ones to many, we need to define these grouping attributes here. So by which the system will consolidate the many transactions into one in Dynamics, and it will match it with the bank statement transaction. Okay. So the combination of attribute determine which line need to be matched here. So here we have a many transactions in ERP. So that's why here the attributes need to be defined for bank transaction line, means for ERP. When it comes to many to one, we need to define the attributes for bank statement line, means the uh, statement which you got from the bank, right? When it comes to many, so we need a grouping attributes for both statement and ERP. So that's why they have given these two options where we can define this grouping attributes in for both statement lines and transaction lines. So basically nothing but this grouping attributes will identify a transaction and make it a one transaction. It will map to that one transaction in the bank statement. That's how it will work. Okay, so to identify that, these attributes will help us to identify the transaction in the ERP. So in some time we'll show you like how it works. Okay, this one-to-one is the same as it was in previous. Like it will search for the amount, it will search for the document number. 1 second. The date should be there. If there is a 1 day gap, then we can define the allowed date difference here. If we are posting the transaction in ERP today and the bank is clearing it tomorrow, then we can define like 1 day difference here. And one more new type they have provided is a clear reversal statement lines. Okay, there can be a situation where the bank has, there's error in the bank statement itself. Okay, the error has been done by the bank itself. The bank has created one transaction and they are reversing their own transaction. Okay, so there's extra lines coming in the bank statement line. So to clear those lines automatically in the bank statement, so I'm not talking about the ERP. This issue happened in the bank by the bank and in the bank statement. So there are two lines in the bank statement. Where one is the original line and second is the reversal of the original line. Okay, so maybe the by mistake the bank has posted a transaction and they're reversing the transaction. So this may happen in the bank statement sometimes. And to identify those transactions and reconcile them there itself, so the Microsoft given this feature clear reversal statement lines. Okay, so wherein we need to clear reversal statement lines, wherein we need to define this criteria, like how we will identify the reversal line in the bank statement. So bank may be having certain code, transaction code in their bank statement by which we can identify. But for the example purpose, we have given this like bank transaction code REV, but actually the banks has their own code, so you need to confirm that code from the bank, like what is the reversal code, and you need to define it here. So whenever that line comes from the statement line where the code is REV, the system will understand that this is the reversal line, and if there's a reversal means there should be an originating line there, right? So the originating line will be identified from here. So originating line will be quite opposite to the reversal line, the amount, and the date will exactly match to the original line. Okay, so this way we can define this criteria, and by which the system can identify this uh, reversal statement lines. Okay, so still I think this feature is still under construction. Okay, this is not working as expected now, but yeah, in the roadmap they have given that this will work in future. Okay, then again, clear reversal company transactions. So previously we talked about the error caused in the bank statement by the bank end. Now there can be an issue at our end in the ERP. The user has posted some transactions and that they want to reverse it, and they have reversed the transaction, but still has there the bank transactions, those will come in the reconciliation, and system should auto reconcile those reversal and original transactions. So for that they have given this feature, clear reversal company transactions, wherein the transaction is there in the ERP, but that will not be there in the bank statement because that is a reversal. Okay, so here also we have one reversal transaction and one originating transaction. So similar manner, we can define here how to find the reversal transaction. Uh, yeah, it can be like, yeah, when you are posting a transaction, reversal transaction, you can put a narration as reversal. Okay, or you can define anything, that condition you need to define it here. So I'm putting here reversal. So whenever I'm posting a reversal bank reversal transaction in the ERP, I'll put the description or a narration as reversal. So by this, system will identify that that is a reversal line. So if there is a reversal line identified, then there should be originating line. So that will call it opposite to the reversal line. The date will match, and some other uh, d- fields also we can enable, like document number, transaction type, payment reference, which we can enable to make the matching more accurate. Okay, there's no like hard rule to enable this field, that field. It's totally depend upon you, it totally depend upon the statement, it totally depend upon the codes which bank is sending you or the SOP which you are following. Okay, so they are just given maximum number of options Microsoft to do this advanced bank reconciliation. It's up to us like how we want to enable these fields. Okay, if you're not using bank transaction type or we are not using bank payment reference, then we don't require to enable them, right? Yeah. So if you're using them, if it is there in SOP, then you should enable them. It's differ from company to company. There is no hard code rule like we need to define this as it is. Then we have a generate voucher. So previously this option was there, the link still it is there. Yeah. So there are some transactions which are not there in ERP, okay, but those are there in bank. That can be like payment fees or bank charges, which bank directly charge, and we don't have any communication regarding the transaction. Okay, and now when the bank statement comes, normally we manually go and we post that bank charges. So instead of posting it manually, Microsoft has given this generate voucher rule, wherein uh, definitely we can identify from the bank statement. There can be a transaction type which we can confirm it from a bank what they are defining for the charges. So currently I defined like if a bank transaction type is NCH, like charge, means that is a bank charge. Okay, and system will post it in the ERP automatically. So for that I require offset account. So offset account I have defined it here. This is a bank fees account. Okay, so it's the transaction. So we need to define the financial dimensions, what it should pick. So we can define the financial dimensions here. So whenever we get this transaction, get a transaction in the bank statement with this transaction type, the system will post this entry. Okay. Uh, Generate vendor payment is one of the new feature view option which they have given. So this required more revamp of this feature, because now what happened is we need basically the purpose of this feature is like we have a transaction in bank, we had a vendor payment, but we have not recorded it in the ERP. Okay, it is there in the bank statement, it is not there in the ERP. The system will identify automatically a transaction, it will post that payment in the ERP when we are doing advanced bank reconciliation. It is similar as generate voucher. here, but here it is like vendor payment. So it will post against the vendor. It will pass an entry against the vendor. So wherein we need to, here in the generate voucher, we have defined this main account, right? So in the generate vendor payment, we are defining the vendor account. So now you may think like how a rule can be defined for a specific vendor. Okay, right? If we are having 100 vendors, are we going to define 100 rules for each vendor? So in the same sense, the Microsoft is still going to do some revamp on this feature, whereas instead of having a vendor bank account, they're going to give an matching rule here where with the IBAN number, like a bank account number, vendor bank account number, the system will identify the transaction, it will post against that vendor. Okay, understand, like for example, your bank statement has some transaction and it also contains the vendor bank account number, your bank statement. So when it is imported into the system, when you run this rule, the system will check for that account number in the ERP and it will see for which vendor this bank account number is attached. Okay, if it is attached to a particular vendor, it will post the transaction against that particular vendor. So yeah, that feature is coming soon. So currently they have given it at the vendor level initially, but yeah, they are going to revamp this feature and they're going to add here the uh, account number here instead of the vendor bank account. Similarly, they have given it for the customers. Okay, so wherein we can have this customer account here. The way we talked about the vendor payment, we have it for the customer. So there's additional feature which they have given for customer is like we can settle the transactions also. Okay, for example, not only the system will post the customer receipt transaction, it will also settle it against the invoice against which that payment, that receipt you have received. Okay, so that additional option they have provided here to settle the invoice. The settlement is not there in vendor payment, it's just post the payment journal. Whereas in case of customer, it will post the customer payment journal and it will also uh, settle it against the invoice against which we received the amount. Okay, so this were, yeah, multiple rules they have provided here. So we'll see a quick demonstration. We have a short time left. I'll try to demonstrate them. So I'll go to bank account, mm, bank reconciliation, bank statement. I'll import a statement. Okay, so before that, I just want to tell you one more set thing regarding this matching rule. I'll go to matching rules once. Okay, you may have a doubt, right? Like, I have defined a rule like generate voucher. Okay, but I have already posted a transaction in the ERP. So if the system runs this rule and if there is a line in the bank statement, whether it will create a duplicate transaction in the ERP. So for that, this matching rules set will help us. So wherein we can define the priority of the matching rules. So I'll add one to one. If the transaction already there in the ERP, then by going to the first rule, it will automatically match that transaction. It is cleared. Okay. Then I'll add this generate voucher up. So first the system will run for one to one. If we identify if there is a transaction available already, then it will be marked automatically as reconciled. Okay. There is no need to go to again to generate voucher. Okay. So this way we can define a hierarchy of the rules which will need to be run at the start. Okay, we should not keep generate voucher in the starting because the generate voucher should happen at the last if there is any remaining transactions in the system. Sorry, in the bank statement. Okay, so this way we need to create our hierarchy. Yeah, so I'll just import one transaction, demo one. Parallelly, I'll open the bank account also so that we can view the transactions. Okay. This contains like 1 lakh we got a deposit and there is a few payments, the 500, 250, 250. Okay. If I go to bank statement, I have a transactions here. The 1 lakh is matching with my deposit. Okay, but I have 500 of, yeah, payment. And you see this, there's a one to many relation here. Okay, I have a 500 payment here, but in my system there's a 250, 250, two payments are there. So now we'll see like how system will identify that. Then again we have a charges of bank charges I have given here, which is not there in ERP. We'll see whether system will post or not. Okay, so in the one statement I have covered like multiple scenarios here. So I'll just confirm this. I'll create a reconciling worksheet, new reconciliation worksheet. Whatever I'm doing this reconciliation work, this can be automated. Like for the demonstration, I'm doing it manually. But when you're importing any statement, there's a button called reconcile after import. If you enable that, the statement and everything will be created automatically. Sorry, worksheet. Okay. So now I will run one by one rule. I, I can run a matching rule set or I can run rule. So for the purpose of demo, I'll just run one to one matching. So it's just in this case, the system will match the transaction which is having a one to one matching. Parallelly, I'll open the rules also. Cash and bank management, collapse, setup. One to one. It'll check for the same amount, same date, and some document number and the references if it is has. Okay. So I'll click OK. The 1 lakh is having the same date and same amount. You see this transaction has jumped here, jumped from here to this match transactions. Okay. So this has happened. Okay. So there's a receipt, there's a payment. This is matched automatically. Now, if I go to unmatched transactions, still there are two transactions. Okay. But in ERP, there are two transactions. In bank statement also we have two transactions, but those are not related. Okay, equally related because this 500 is related to this 250 250, and this 500 is the charges which is not there in the ERP. So now I'll run matching rule. I'll run like one to many. Like in bank statement we have one transaction and in ERP we have two transactions. So we'll see whether it will match or not. See, the statement is executed. So if I go to match transactions, again the system has marked these two transactions. Why it has marked these two transactions? If I go to rule one to many, the basic criteria, like it's grouped based on the date, bank transaction type, and this some other whatever fields are there. Okay, this way it group the transaction, it is able to match it. So this completed. Now again I go to unmatched transactions. There's one transaction in the bank statement, but it is not there in the ERP. Okay, now I'll go to run matching rule. I'll go to generate voucher, click OK. Okay, there's the dimensions which I had defined here, so they are not supported maybe in the account structure, so I'll just remove them.
I think Karthik, this is the
Yeah,
ledger
that
account.
ledger account, yeah. I'll just
So just a quick time check. I think it's 9, so we
okay,
will extend it for 15 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes more. Okay.
okay, Amit.
Yeah.
I'll give some known account here, which I normally use for expenses. Activate this. Yeah, yeah, generate voucher. Okay, the system has marked the what system has done. First, system has created a transaction in the ERP, and then it marked that with the bank line. If I go here, this 500, this charge one charges. Go to voucher. I think still it is doing that. Yeah. So we got a voucher here. If I go to voucher,
I think it is still in
yeah,
the
it's in a
batch
process. Yeah.
subledger, not transfer. Let me transfer it. I've transferred it.
Okay. So you can see this. So the bank charges has been booked here. And if I go to reconciliation, from here also I can view that voucher. See, there's a voucher the system has posted, and it is auto reconciled with the bank statement line. Okay, so extension to this, what Ramit was showing in the, I'll just try once. Okay, I'll just put a file here, upload a file. So instead of putting it manually, we can, as Ramit has shown you, we can have a Power Automate flow. Whenever you receive a statement from your bank in any of the mail ID, the Power Automate flow will automatically pick that statement. It will put it in this folder. Okay. We need to wait for 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, the batch will run. And Ramit, like till then, if you want to share anything or tell anything, you can do that till it is getting processed.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Karthik. So by the time it processed, so I will just take it over. So I will just quickly share my screen once again. So Karthik has talked about these new rules, which is newly added in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. By the time it gets imported, I would like to talk about the modern bank reconciliation and user interface changes. So if you have noticed Karthik's screen, there has been major changes in the interface, which I will talk about. Say suppose if I go to bank statement and if I open any bank statement from here, with open or closed, so you will notice these options has been added newly, like how many lines are there in the bank statement, what is the value, what are the unmatched, matched, and reconciled. Okay. Further, one good thing which is there, which is previously you used to go to the bank reconciliation form and then you used to create it. But now you can just click on reconcile in worksheet and it will take you to the reconciliation. You can create new. Okay. And once it is created, that linkage between the bank statement and the reconciliation worksheet will be here. If you see the related worksheet, you can just click on this worksheet and it will take you to the worksheet which has been linked with this bank statement. Okay. So now if I talk about more on the worksheet side, if you see this bank account overview is this interface has been changed, which is saying suppose what are the opening balance, ending balance, what are the matched, what are how many lines, what are the differences. Okay. So these are the new things, or I would say is a modern bank reconciliation page has been improvised. There are many things which is in roadmap, which we will take once Microsoft introduce, because those new features as part of our NDA, we cannot share, but once it is shared by Microsoft, we will take this up to you. But as of now, these are the new features like interface changes has been added. And I will just quickly take some time, more 5 minutes, and then I will leave this to Karthik to showcase. So I will talk about something on the vendor payments and customer payment from bank statement settlement. So as Karthik has mentioned, this vendor payments and customer payment, and also along with the settlement can be done with the customer side by the matching rule. So this also can be, you know, like manually created, which maybe I will just go to the one of the matching rules, sorry, one of the worksheet. So here, if you see, there are two options, which is generate payment journal, generate vouchers. If you would like to create a manual generate voucher rather than running the rules, so you can click on the generate voucher. It will help you to create the GL voucher. Fill up this details, offset account number, bank transaction type, okay, distribute amount, everything, and then you click on OK. You can also use a financial tag as well along with the financial dimension. So once you click on it, the journal voucher will be created and posted, and this will come as a match transaction. Similarly, like Kartik was showing the matching rules, you can also use the manual creation of journal, which is generate payment journal. It has been there since long, maybe 1.5 years back. But if you see the customer payment and customer account, select the customer account manually, method of payment if you want, and then you can select booking date, specific date, you can select transaction type, you can select financial dimension, financial tag, and most important part is you can settle the transaction from this account, this page itself. So you can just mark it, click post. It will post not only customer payment journal, it will also settle the invoice which you want to settle, which you have selected from the bank statement itself. Similarly, for vendor bank as well. So if you say vendor payment, vendor bank account, you can just select the settle transaction and you can post it. So for the matching rules, uh, settlement option, automatic settlement option with the pending invoices, it is still available for the customer payment journal only. We are expecting this will also be available for vendor payment, but let's see what happens. Okay. So, and yeah, we have talked about the general ledger voucher. So I will now change the gear and we'll leave it to Karthik to showcase the automatic bank transactions. Okay. Yeah, Karthik,
Yeah.
take it.
Okay. Yeah. So I put that file in this main folder. The system has automatically processed that, and it kept that file in the empty 940. So whether we can check this state here in the source, like what system has done. So if I go to same thing where Ramesh has shown, like electronic reporting sources. Okay. So I'll select, this is my SharePoint one configuration. If I click on file states for the sources, it'll show the journey of that file. Okay. If this is a file name which I put there, this happened a few minutes back. So it's got to the main folder. Then once it is moved, it is went to the completed, right? And when it is moved to the completed, the system has deleted it from the main folder. So this is the journey of that file, which we can see from this form. Okay. And if I go to bank statement, you can see this statement has been imported here, X2, and it is auto confirmed. So I have not enabled the auto reconciliation on this, I think. So that's why the reconciliation has not been happened, which we can do it manually. Yeah. But this is how it happens. If you put a file here, the system will automatically run it. It'll pick it, it'll create a bank statement here. Okay. So if I open this file, this system has created, see what the system has done. Like we don't require to uh, create a statement. We don't require to create a reconciliation worksheet. Okay. So everything the system has done automatically just by putting that file in that particular folder. So we don't even require to put a file in that folder. We can directly create an Power Automate flow wherein you get a mail from your bank. The Power Automate flow will pick that attachment, it put it in that folder. So it is a totally touchless. Once you receive from the point you are receiving the file from your bank till the reconciliation part, everything we can automate it. But yeah, it depends on your SOP, like how complicated it is. Okay. So yeah, but the feature is there in the F&O. If you want to implement it, you can implement that. If you go to, I'll open this. Okay, the system is doing the reconciliation. I think that's why I'm not able to open that. So the system is doing the reconciliation in the backend for this. Okay, that's it, Ramit, from this automation side.
Great. Super. So thank you, Karthik, for this demo, and thanks to me as well.
Yeah.
So We will, if there is any question, we can take this by, you can raise your hand and you can ask. No questions as of now. Great. Super. Okay. I think there is no question. If there is any question, just connect with us, email us, or connect with us in LinkedIn. We would love to help you. And once again, thanks to everyone for joining at late. Who is in India? It's very late Friday night, and from all over the world you have joined from your busy schedule. Some of you are having early morning in USA, some of you are the late in the evening in UK. So once again, thank you so much. That's how we build our community, to help each other. Let us know if any help required. We will love to help you. Thanks everyone. We will close this call, and we will publish this recording maybe uh maybe couple of days after, maybe 1 week after. We will publish this in YouTube and we'll let you know in LinkedIn or WhatsApp. Thank you. Have a great weekend to everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Ramit. Thank you, Karthik.